All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, recovering from Thanksgiving, talking about real music in real time for a couple of real people out there just like you, just like me. All right, I'm going to be addressing the whole Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth thing. It's very entertaining, very good for the channel. So you guys want to keep talking. It's helpful for me, as I continue to hemorrhage revenue. So, doing slightly better lately, slightly better. Before we get there, here is Streetlight. This is really good stuff. I call this a standard issue Swedish melodic rock with a Journey and Toto tendencies, but it really is its own thing. And each track is different from the previous track. So you're getting a lot of variety on this album. Here in the United States, you won't hear a word about a band like this. Number one, it's not from the United States. And number two, all the old timers out here, and I consider myself one of them, we're all focused on the old stuff most of the time. I think I'm one of the few that actually gives you something new to think about. So check out Ignition by Streetlight. Now, a few days ago, David Lee Roth called Sammy Hagar's bluff and said, yeah, sure, I'd love to be on this tour next year. And Sammy Hagar basically said, come on, MFer. That's what he said. You are welcome. Now, what's weird is Sammy didn't give specifics on that. He just said, hey, if you want to be part of this, you're welcome. That's what he said. Same with Alex Van Halen, who, of course, hasn't responded. But David Lee Roth has. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm ready to go. And so we haven't heard the next part of this, or at least some of you probably haven't. Sammy Hagar says, no effing way is Roth going to be like on this tour. Now, the reason I'm using the F is because that's exactly what Sammy Hagar said. According to Sammy Hagar, there is no bleeping way David Lee Roth will be joining him for the entirety of his 2024 Van Halen Focus Tour. Hagar previously noted that Roth is welcome to a guest slot. Okay, well, that really wasn't specified. And now it is a little bit more clear, as is Alex Van Halen. Now, based on the fact that they have a player at each position, right? They don't need another lead vocalist. They don't need another drummer. They've got Jason Bonham. So it would be assumed, I guess, that this would be a guest slot. But knowing David Lee Roth, I'm thinking he might want to kind of weasel his way into this and do a more than just guest slot and maybe just hang for the entire tour. Now, as we know, the ill-fated Sam and Dave tour from, I don't know, what was it, 2000 and something, like the early 2000s, that didn't go all so well. It just didn't. He's knocking on Dave's door, trying to get him to come out, and they could perform a song together. For some reason, Roth does not want to be on stage at the same time with Sammy. So I'm thinking if Dave does this at all, it's going to be like, look, it's going to be me, and then Sammy's going to have to wait, and then when I'm done, Sammy can come back out and so forth. I'm thinking it's just, the side-by-side comparison between Sammy Hagar, who just recorded an amazing version of the Lynyrd Skynyrd classic Simple Man. It's on the new Artemis Pyle album, tribute to Skynyrd, an actual good tribute, except we got more Dolly Parton. And Dolly Parton apparently was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader yesterday. Someone sent me pictures, and so I got, she's 77. I got nothing, folks. All I know is it's great publicity for her. But anyway, that'll be another video possibly. So this Roth Hagar thing is certainly designed to bring attention to both of them. But in this case, Hagar's going to probably benefit more, as Dave is kind of like, yeah, I want to play too. I want to go outside and play too. And I don't know if Sammy's even going to put up with any of it. I think what's going to happen is Roth is going to have all these demands, and Hagar's going to be like, you know what, this guy has had a history of not playing well with others, and it's going to happen again. You know, he's going to need all these, special, accommodations in order to be a part of the tour. Which this, again, folks, through all of this, the back and forth, the bickering, and now you've got the controversy here. Of course, you're going to have controversy. If it's David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar, you're always going to have some issues. What Dave, I think, is worried about is that his legacy, all right, is still above Sammy Hagar's legacy with this band. People apparently prefer the Dave version of Van Halen like 2-1 or something like that over the Sammy version of Van Halen. But this could be really the last hurrah where this music gets played, and a lot of it is going to be the Hagar era, but with Michael Anthony there. They can do pretty much anything they want from the Dave era. So I'm thinking Dave doesn't want to be erased. I think that's what is going on here. And so he's willing to put up, his hand in the back of the room and say, hey, over here, I want to be part of this too. Come on, let's get going. Now, remember, Roth has said, I'm retired, or maybe I'll do a one-off show. He's not all that specific. He shows up at private events. He's still releasing music from the John 5 era, where he worked with John 5. And some of it's not bad. I heard a song the other day, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't the typical embarrassing vocal performance. I think it's probably from 2009 or something, though. It's from a while ago. Or it might be right during the A Different Kind of Truth time period when he was still somewhat viable as a singer, still, not anywhere near where he used to be in the old days. And that whole meltdown pretty much started in maybe like 2003 or so. It's been a while since Dave had the old school vocal chops and the way he sounded back in the day. Even his early solo work, I'm thinking is still really good compared to the stuff that came later. And I'm talking about vocals and probably music as well. So in any event, folks, getting back to this little feud here. So Dave accepts the offer. Sam says, no bleeping way are you going to be part of this entire tour. But they would sell a lot of tickets for all those folks that want to, what's that, the bucket list thing? Before someone kicks the bucket, they, make the bucket list, and this is it. And I don't know. I'm thinking it would be just fine without Dave, but if Dave wants to be a part of a show here or there, those shows, they're going to sell out. And I think the whole thing's going to sell out, but people will want to see Sammy and Dave together, even if they're not standing on the stage together. But I think that's what Sam wants. He wants Dave to come out, and he wants not to be friends, but to kind of be colleagues and work together. And this is business. So, hey, come out on stage. If Jonathan Cain and Neil Schon can do it, I'm not sure why David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar can't do it. Just, for a couple of appearances here or there. It's bizarre to me, but and Dave might be just milking this for publicity. Yeah, I'll do it. And then 2 days later, Dave will say, I don't like the way Sammy's behaving, so I'm not going to do it. And then Sammy can come back and say, see, the MFer, that's what he'll come back with. It'll go back and forth, and it's good for publicity. It's good for the tour. It's good for Hagar, and to some degree, it's even good for David Lee Roth. Roth may have something waiting in the wings, that he's going to be doing. Maybe he'll launch his own Van Halen tribute tour. I wouldn't be surprised if this whole thing just falls apart between the two guys here, and then Roth says, you know what, I'm going to do my own, and he'll recruit some musicians who will be more than happy because they're going to get money. And it's just embarrassing, though, if Dave's not going to sing properly, it's just not going to be as good as the Sammy tour. That's my opinion. And then you've got Michael Anthony, which is really Sammy's ace in the hole. You don't need Dave. You've got Michael. So there you go. All right. Maybe one more time on this album here. Street Light, Ignition, really good stuff. Check it out. Courtesy of Frontiers Music, came out a few months ago. These are guys who are making modern melodic rock that sounds like, say, Journey, Toto, Foreigner, that kind of thing. And, if you're bored with your huge music catalog at home, then check out some other things here. Some people like when I do this, other people don't. Also, please, folks, if you can support the channel, if you're in the holiday spirit and you'd like to help the channel out, $1, $2 a month is very helpful. I have lost a lot of revenue since the beginning of the year, quite frankly. So it's been almost a year now in the revenue apocalypse, and apparently things aren't going to change. I'm doing pretty much everything I can do. And I'm seeing signs that maybe it's kind of stabilizing. But what I'm worried about is after the holidays, because now we're in a heavy-duty advertising time period. Things are going to get very bad, say January, February. So in any event, folks, thank you if you're already supporting. I really appreciate all of the patrons and YouTube members out there. Thank you. And we'll be back. I've got more news coming your way, and it's it's head-shaking, head-scratching stuff about Axl Rose, but I will put that in the next video. See you soon.